Hi, it's me, Jazzy. I'm back with another tech-related video, and today it's back. Yep, it's been a while, but it is Temu tech time. So, let's see what I've got in my grey bag of goodies from Temu today. Right, here we go then, Temu tech time. It's been a little while since the last one. Let's see what I've got in here. Lots of goodies. All right. This is a bumper one. Quite a bit of stuff in here. Wow. Okay, so multimeters, we're going to leave them till the end as usual. We'll come back to those. Never have too many multimeters. We've got loads of little bits and bobs here, haven't we? Okay, let's start small to big. Right, one thing I do remember ordering is these brushes. Now, these were actually recommended to me by a friend of mine who has used them. Not necessarily from Temu, but they look pretty similar. And the idea of these, they're a bit stiff, and they're great for when you've got a cleaner board, when you've got a bit of flux on it or something, and you need to clean it off. You've got an old board you've been working on, and it's, you know, you've got a bit of flux or something to clean off, or you want to clean off some corrosion or stuff. This is brilliant. One of these stiff brushes with a bit of IPA, bring it up lovely. It's just one of my test boards, but you've got two different sides on this one, so when you wear one out, you can use the other one, you see. No, that's great. I've been needing one of these for a while now. That is actually a legit, very useful thing from Temu, and very cheap. How it will last, I don't know, but we're going to find out, because you'll see me using this every time I'm building a kit or doing a repair. This is going to be really, really useful. I mean, some people do use an old toothbrush or something, and I had some of those nylon brushes I had from Temu a while back that were more like a toothbrush shape. They didn't really last that well. So they're quite stiff bristles, which is great, which is just what I need. So I got the double-ended one, and I also got a single-ended one with a wooden handle to just see which one I prefer. This one's not quite as stiff. This has got a bit more flex to it. This one's really stiff. I think I actually prefer this one. I've got to say, it's more grippy with the rubber handle. This handle's a little more slender, perhaps, but not bad actually. They were really cheap. I can't remember what I paid, but as usual, I'll put the prices on the screen. I'll put some screenshots of the listing from Temu. I think these are great. These are the kind of cheap bits and bobs that are great to pick up from sites like Temu, and these are going to be a really useful addition to my drawer of things. So that's brushes, right? So we're done with that. So also in terms of cleaning up things, I got this, which is a Fiberglass pencil. I had one, but as usual, it's mislaid somewhere around the place. And again, this was cheap. This was one of those things that you get to the checkout with your other bits and bobs, and they go, would you also like one of these? And it is a propelling Fiberglass pencil or pen or whatever, and this is for cleaning up. If you had a board that had some dirty contacts or something, it's quite satisfying as well. Yeah, you can see, look. So this is quite good. If I had something that needed like legs on components sometimes, oh yeah, oh look at that. Actually, that's a much better demonstration. Look at that. So you can see how dull that is. Just run this along it. You're going to have much better chance of soldering that now. Yeah, that's going to be brilliant just for things like that. Sometimes I've got parts that are new old stock, or I've had them hanging around for a few years, and they are often difficult to solder. So just use this to clean it up. It's propelling, and yeah, again, I don't know how long it would last. It was very cheap, but it's going to be very handy. And if I keep it in the little thing, I'm probably less likely to lose it. How long I'll keep it in that for, I don't know, but yeah, cool. Now we've obviously got a couple of multimeters to look at, and we've got some probes and stuff, and I can't remember what this was. Oh yeah, 8-level programmable resistor. This is cool. This is something we can have a play with. The box is a bit smushed, but hopefully it'll be all right. This is the adjustable resistor user manual look, which is actually on a sticker. Nice. Self-adhesive user manual. Love that. Usage instructions. Right, okay, so we've got a range of 0 ohms to... So is this 9,999,999.9 ohms? Nice. Before use, adjust all resistance values to 0 ohms and measure the deviation, typically within 0 to 4 ohms. So we're going to have a bit of an offset there, yeah? Adjustable resistor uses 0805 SMD resistors with a 1% tolerance, so it's not mega accurate. Contact the seller for assistance if issues arise. Okay, well, let's hope no issues arise. This is cool. I'd actually forgotten I'd ordered this. I have a terrible memory. By the time this stuff arrives, I have no idea what's coming. And this is quite cool. The idea is that you can use it to set any value you want. It says 8-decade adjustable resistance box. So you could use this, although it's only 1% tolerance. If you're not looking for mega accuracy and you just want something to use for comparing your meters and stuff, you could do this, or you could use it in a project where you need different resistance values. If you wanted to test temperature probes and stuff, or any kind of project where you need variable resistance. So we've got an output there. Okay, so we can have a little play with this little board. There we go, so I've got it hooked up to the Zoe LCR meter. It says on the bit of paper that these surface mount resistors have a 1% tolerance, and it also says that there will be a deviation of 0 to 4 ohms. We're picking up 0.006, which is not bad. I mean, we can rel it out. This is not going to be mega accuracy like a decade box or a standard resistor. But if you haven't got anything and you just want something to give you some consistent values, you could use something like this. It was pretty cheap, as we saw, and you've got 0 to 0.9. I had a little play with this. You can't use more than one jumper at a time, so you can't multiply the values up. But you can multiply them across, obviously. So if I go to 1 ohm, that's not bad. 0.9975, it's actually not bad. Considering this was like, what, £4 or something ridiculous? So if I did 0.5, you could do 1.5. It gives you 1.56. I mean, it's not like mega accuracy, but you can see there 1 ohm is okay, and you've got 9 ohms on that range. It's not bad. So you go up to 90 ohms on that range, and then you've got, what have you got? 100 ohms here up to 900 ohms. It's a bit fiddly with these little jumpers. Of course, the board weighs nothing, so it keeps moving about. But you know, for cheap and cheerful, so like something like that PT100 box that I looked at on one of my mailbags. But this is like a low budget, super low budget version. The 9 meg ohms is a little on the low side, isn't it? 7.9 there. Doesn't seem to like the 9 meg doesn't seem to be working particularly well on mine. That's 5. Yeah, that's all right. So it's not bad for what it is. I mean, it's only a cheap little thing, isn't it? But you know, if you just need something to give you some values. So you've got that terminal, that's what I was using just there. I just clipped my Kelvin probes onto these little wires I've got coming out. You have got an output there, but when I tried using that, it kept tipping the board up because the board's really light. But there you go, you can see on the bottom there's your surface mount resistors. So there you go, yeah, a little bit of fun. We could use it with a breadboard for prototyping things. Okay. For the low price that I paid for it, yeah, okay. Now, I think this is all various probes and stuff. I can remember what I actually ordered, because I ordered several different types of probes and stuff. And, all right, so I think, what have we got in here? Different types of probe tips. Got your safety connector on the top there. The idea is they're just multimeter probes or probes for whatever you want to use them for, but you've got changeable tips. Now we can try these out with our cheap multimeter that we've got in this batch, because as I often say, if you buy a really cheap multimeter, sometimes spending a couple of quid on some decent probes can make a lot of difference. We saw that with the Aneng. Putting the better probes on it from the other model made quite the difference. So we've got standard multimeter probes here, and we've got gold plated ones, so we can actually see what the difference is. We can see the difference between the gold plated tips and the regular tips, and they just screw in. You've got two sets of each. This was pretty cheap, and they got the safety sockets on the back there, so you can just hook them up. So we'll do a little test with these. So if you're on a budget and you bought a cheap multimeter, some of the cheap multimeters we've seen have been actually quite good, but the addition of some decent probes can make quite a difference. Alright, so if I can grab my Zoe meter, which is usually good on continuity mode. There we go. Let's see if there's much of a difference then with the standard tips. Yeah, if you go really fast, yeah, so you can see not bad, but not immediate. Sometimes these tips and probes do come with a bit of a coating. You can give them a bit of a clean up with some IPA, but I'm just interested to see what the difference is, really. I quite like the longer tips as well. These are quite nice. And these were all not much money. These are, what are these rated? Cat 2, 1000 volt, 10 amp. Straight away, better. I much prefer the gold plated tips. Just so much better. I quite like those. Again, we'll see how they go in terms of longevity. Are they going to last more than 5 minutes? Well, we'll find out. You wouldn't necessarily use these kind of leads. I'm just using these for a quick demonstration. So these are adding to the weight of the probe. But I think we've got some other leads in one of these bags. So let's have a look what we got. I can't remember what's what, but these are all multimeter probe related things here, I believe. Right, so this is a kit of various things. Good, with a bit of paper. And these, I think, are... Right, these are Aneng multimeter probes. Now, I got these because I want to see if these are similar to the ones that came with the 683, because they were the best kind of cheapy multimeter probe that I've come across. The leads feel like silicon. Whether they are or not, I don't know, but they do feel like silicon. They are described as silicon on the description. Rating says Cat 3, 1000 volts, 20 amps. They feel quite good, and they have the gold type, pretty sharp. And they've got angled connectors, as a lot of them do these days. So if I just quickly grab the probes that came with the 683, I was a big fan of these probes. The 683 was not the best cheap multimeter, but the probes were excellent. So these are Cat 3, 20 amp, and I think they are the same. Are they? Yes, they do look the same. Right. Oh yes, I think they are the same probes. That's good news. Okay, we have a winner. These, if they test as good as these, right, these are the 683 probes. Really good, really fast. I like the fact that it's instant. I'm sometimes impatient when I'm checking a board, especially if I'm looking for a fault that I can't find, and I like it to be pretty instant, and that is. I thought they were rather good probes. So these are the ones I've just bought from Temu, and they are branded as Aneng on the listing. These have angled connectors. These had straight connectors, but that might be because they were supplied with the 683 and they had to plug into the bottom, so angled connectors wouldn't make sense. Okay, so these are the ones I've just bought. Yeah, excellent. Immediate. Great. I'm happy with those. They feel good. They feel quite nice. They've got nice tips and gold plated with these silicon type wires, angled connectors. I like those. I think they're a really good buy. So that's a winner. We're doing quite well on this Temu Tech Time today. We've had some very useful stuff. This is brilliant. Right, so those are good. What did we get on the bit of paper? I don't think I read the bit of paper. It's just safety stuff, is it? And we've got a similar piece of paper with the other ones. I presume says exactly the same. Yes, it's the same thing. Okay, so this is the other set I bought. Again, I'll put a screen grab up with the prices and stuff because I can never remember what I paid for this stuff. None of it was a lot of money. This I got just because it looked a useful set of stuff, but I can see the quality of these does not look anywhere near as good as the others. These probes don't look great at all. I mean, what's all this like swarf remnants around the top where it's not been cleaned up properly? These say Cat 3000 volts. I don't want to be holding that with 1000 volts going through it. Don't know about you. I mean, they might be all right for general purpose stuff. These actually screw in. They feel really cheapy. I mean, it looked a good idea. This is why I buy these things, so you don't have to, viewers. You can see the premise of it. It would be quite handy because you've got these croc clips that just screw in. Again, they're just really cheap quality, aren't they? So you've got them. Oh, so you can do croc clip to croc clip. The idea is it's convertible, so you can have a probe on one end and something else on the other end, or you can go from one thing to another. And you've got like a normal banana end on there that you can stick in your meter, or you can take that out and you can have a probe on both ends. Quite sure why you would do that. Or you can have spade terminal. Yeah. All right. It's a cool idea. I think it was very cheap. I'm not mad on these probes, but if you're just using it for checking low voltage stuff, they're quite lightweight, I guess. So if you're doing maybe microcontroller stuff or low voltage stuff that you just need a little probe that's not, not going to be chunky, it's kind of okay for the money. It's how well it would last. It's the resistance of this light. Fortunately, it's got an easy way of testing itself, hasn't it? Oh, the fun I have with this stuff. Endless fun. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. Actually, it's all right. Okay. What about the probes? I'm quite surprised. All right, okay. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They just feel cheap, which doesn't inspire confidence. But I think it could be potentially quite a useful set. My only gripe is it didn't come with any kind of storage box to keep all the bits in that I'm guaranteed to lose somewhere in one of my drawers. Okay, so multimeter time then. I've got two multimeters here. I've got a M167. I'm not sure what brand this is, doesn't really tell me. It's an M167, that's all we need to know. Oh, it's an Aneng. Oh, it's little. The instruction book's bigger than the meter. Let's have a look. Oh wow, it's tiny. Tiny, tiny. Ah, this is one of these smart jobbies, isn't it? It does everything for you. What an accusation is that? Stop testing voltage in current mode. I'm not likely to do that. Tear off before use. I get the sentiment, it's just the way they've phrased it. This feels really cheap. It needs 2 AAAs, promises non-contact voltage and a torch, hold, backlight possibly, and on and off is completely auto ranging, auto function. So it promises AC and DC volts, current, resistance and continuity. Cat 3 up to 600 volts. So what have we got? Introduction. Okay, this product is a battery-powered, auto-ranging, true RMS digital multimeter with a 4000 counts LCD display. Okay, it sounds promising. Let's get some batteries in. So it needs 2 AAAs, which I happen to have here. Got my Amazon Essentials, it's actually Amazon Basics. Oh, it's beeping, Auto. Right, so it says power, it's also got a capacitance symbol there for some reason, which it doesn't have on there. I don't think it even does capacitance, so it's a bit weird that they've put that there. Anyway, push this over 2 seconds to turn on or off. This product automatically powers off after 15 minutes. Oh, it can switch to test capacitance, can it? No, it can't. I don't think this model does capacitance. So you've got to hold there. You've got a little light here that flashes and a very loud beep. Brilliant. And if you push that down, it'll turn on the backlight. Okay, reasonable backlight, obviously on one side only, but it's actually all right. Hang on, does this turn my lights off? Yeah, that's if you're in a dark space, even though it's only on one side, and you're trying to see what you're doing in an electrical cupboard or something. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Right, non-contact voltage, it tells me I have to keep that pushed in, and you cannot use non-contact voltage when you've got leads plugged in. Okay, that's fair. Push the button once to turn on the flashlight. Great. Oh, not really a flashlight, is it? It's got a sort of slightly dim LED on the top. All right, that goes down as possibly one of the worse flashlights I've seen on a multimeter. All right, no bonus points for that. So you hold it down to go into non-contact voltage. Soldering on. All right, so you hold it down. Yep. All right, fairly loud. Does its thing, because you've got this little protrusion here. I wonder if that's why it works better, because you've got it the non-contact voltage. It looks kind of like a small walkie-talkie, doesn't it? Is that just me? Right, so we should be able to do AC and DC volts, resistance, continuity, and we can do current as well. Wonderful. Okay, so let's see what the probes are like that come with it. I mean, they look super cheap. So let's have a look. I mean, yeah, they do feel like super cheap. Some of the multimeters we've looked at that are £10 and up, they come with some quite decent probes. I think they've actually been spoiled lately with really good probes on a lot of the multimeters I've been testing. But we seem to have come a long way with probes. All but the cheapest of the cheap seem to come with some reasonable probes. So let's go with what we've got. Now we can't select anything manually on here, so we're going to have to suffer. Because it's auto function, we see this a lot with these meters, because it's auto function, it's not going to do a quick tap, but it's fairly loud. That's a good 5 seconds delay though while it works out what you're doing. Yeah, it's always a shame with these kind of auto function meters that you cannot select anything manually. The thing is, it's so cheap that it's almost like a disposable multimeter. You could just chuck this in your glove box or your tool bag or whatever. You have a problem with your main multimeter when you're out somewhere and you need to measure something. This will be fine. I suspect the problems we're going to encounter with this will relate to the auto function. See, it does say again here, test for capacitance. Push the power button. Push the button for seconds to switch to test capacitance. How many seconds? No, it just turns it off. That's brilliant. I don't think it does. I think that's just an instruction book that comes with a whole selection of meters. These kind of meters are so cheap. They're not the kind of meters that you're going to be going for mega accuracy. You just want a functioning meter. So I've got this 4K7 resistor here, and it's giving me 436 yeah, 4,300, 4,400 ohms. So yeah, it's not going to be mega accurate, this, but give it a bit of a test, shall we? Okay, so we're going to do some DC volts now. I've brought in the PDV S2 Mini, but I'm not expecting absolute accuracy from this. When you go down to this cheap of a meter, basically all I'm looking for is, does it switch over? Does the auto function switch over reasonably well? And does it give you a ballpark figure? Because you're not going to be buying this kind of meter for accuracy. Right, so it thinks we're trying to measure resistance until we give it some voltage, and then it's fine. So we give it 1 volt, it's giving me 0.996, which is reasonable. 2 volts, 3, 4. Got some linearity issues coming in here. Look, it's getting worse. The more we go up, it's getting worse. 6.98, it's all right. Okay, 7.98. 8.97, but it's okay for a cheap, you know, for what I paid for this, which is a very small amount of money. And it will not do 100 millivolts though, because it thinks I'm trying to measure resistance now. That's interesting. Nope, it's still measuring the resistance of the PDV S2 Mini. No, it is not going to have it until I give it 1 volt. All right, so what if I drop it? No, it's not going to have it. Okay, fine. Thank you. All right, let's try AC volts real quick. It's not going to take long to test this meter. AC volts, same problem again. It thinks I'm trying to measure resistance, and that's going through my ears because that's quite loud. It's not happy. Right, so in AC it will actually go lower. It will go down to 500 millivolts in AC, which it wouldn't do in DC. Yeah, it won't go any lower than that. And at 1 volt AC, it's giving me 0.994. Okay, let's go 10 volts. 10 volts is fine. Let's go 100. At 100 volts, it's giving me 99.5, and at 300 volts, it's giving me 298.6.7. Okay. All right, let's have a quick play with some AC current. So I can remove the little sticker. Stop testing voltage in current mode. So we're doing amps and milliamps on the same terminal. All right, so we're going for, what are we going for, 1 milliamp? Let's try that. No, doesn't like that. Let's go for 100 milliamps. Yes, it likes that. 0.116. All right, so it will do 100 milliamps, not very accurately, but it will do it. Again, I'm not expecting big things from this at all. Let's go up to 1 amp. At 1 amp, it's a little over 1.19 on AC current. Okay, good test. Right, DC current at 100 milliamps. It's giving me 0.95. Okay, and let's do DC current at 1 amp. Yeah, there we go. It does do what it should do. That's the auto power off. So even though it's been measuring, it still wants to power off. Okay. Well, I think we've covered all the functions in that. I mean, for the minimal amount of money you're going to pay for this thing, it will do the job. I can't remember if I showed you the specs. If not, there's the specifications if you want a freeze frame. But again, you're not going to be expecting absolute accuracy from this meter. But, oh, there you go. It's powered off. It's had enough. Well, that's test over then. Okay, cheap and cheerful. Does function as a multimeter. Don't expect a mega amount from it, but it will do the job. Next, digital clamp meter. I bought this because it was, I think, about £10, and it promises AC and DC current on the clamp. If it is, then that's amazing for the price. This is an SK-201. I think it's branded as Snakol. I've got an instruction manual. This is probably one of these generic meters that you see branded as other things. It looks very familiar. I'm sure we've seen this branded as various other things. In this case, it's branded as Snakol. We've got a current clamp on there, 600 amps. It looks like it's just AC on the current clamp. I'll have to look back at the listing, but I swear it said AC and DC current. Right, now, so I've had a quick look at the Temu listing for this, and they haven't sent me the wrong one. It's me being a muppet. They catch me out every time. I'm looking at a picture of one that's got DC current measurement, and I think that's the one I'm buying, but no, you have to click on the options underneath, which I did not notice at the time. I didn't look too closely at it. So I've got the one that only does AC current. I have ordered one with DC current, but it hasn't arrived at the time of making this video, so I will update you on how the DC current function works. This one was a tenner, and the one that does DC current is £13, so it's very, very cheap for a clamp meter that does DC current on the clamp. So you do get probes. Let's have a look. These look like your standard cheapy ones. They do feel quite cheap, but again, we can try it with some of the slightly better probes, because unlike the little Aneng we just looked at, this has actually got some manual control over the functions, which I like. Max 10 amps, 600 volts, Cat 2. Wow, they don't want you to take the covers off. Not overly sharp. Actually, for £10, it never ceases to amaze me what you can get in terms of a multimeter for very little money. So we've got some instructions. This is our English instruction manual. Our products are all sold on the Temu platform. Funnily enough, that's where I got it from. All right, okay, so that's not actually the instruction manual. That just tells you that their products are sold on Temu, which we kind of knew because that's where it came from. So we have got a manual here, and we can have a look at some specifications. We love specifications. What have we got? So we got DC volts, AC volts, capacitance, nice, resistance. What else does it do? It also does AC current on the clamp, and it does diode, non-contact voltage, and live line. Does quite a lot for a tenner. Gives you a nice little thing there if you've not used a multimeter before as to which terminals to plug into. It's quite nice that they've put on there that you only want to measure one conductor at a time when you're doing a current measurement, otherwise you're going to get an incorrect measurement. It's nice that they've put this very user-friendly user manual. I like this. So far so good. Let's see what the meter's like before we get carried away. It feels quite a weight. It's got a bit of weight to it, this meter. But I do think in general the quality of the cheaper end of multimeters is getting better and better. Never cease to be amazed what you can get. You know, what's 10 quid? A cup of coffee and a sandwich if you're lucky. Okay, quite a nice display. This is a 3999 counts LCD display. 600 volts, Cat 3. Alright, let's take the peel off. Actually quite a nice clear display, and it looks like we've got a backlight, so we've got a hold. Okay, standard hold. Hold that down, and we've got a backlight. Oh, quite a nice backlight. That's actually very good. All right, so you've got a backlight and you've got a torch. You have. Torch is there, which now I found this a lot with clamp meters, that if you've got a torch on the front, the clamp kind of gets in the way. You're kind of lighting up the clamp more than anything. You kind of need to walk around with the clamp open so you can get your light. It's not, again, not the best torch. It's okay. It's not the worst one I've seen. It's better than the Aneng one we just looked at. So what have we got on here? So we've got our current ranges. So we've got a 4 amp, 40 amp, 600 amp. We've got continuity, diode, and resistance on here. And oh, you've got to select down here. Ah, yeah, so you can select between continuity, resistance, and diode. Nice, love that. And you've got capacitance, which is a nice inclusion, AC/DC volts, non-contact voltage, and live line. So the non-contact voltage tab is on the top of the clamp there. So if I go near my soldering iron, yep, Yep, so you get a flashing LED, you get a couple of bars on the screen, and you get a beep. Not the loudest beep, but the nearer you get, the more urgent the beep. Yeah, okay, that's all right. It's loud enough that you'd hear it, and you've got the flashing light as well. You have got live line there as well, if that's something that you need to use. Okay, so let's have a go then at continuity. So we can select continuity, which is fantastic. It has its own mode, so we don't have to have the constant beeping under 50 ohms. It's not bad, even with the included probes. Long beep. It's not bad, but that could be improved if we try our couple of quid Aneng probes that we bought. Yeah, straight away, instant. So it just goes to show, if you haven't got a big budget, get yourself a cheap multimeter, get yourself these for, what were they, £3, £4, something like that. Excellent. Much more responsive. I think that's great. So yeah, definitely would recommend, if you're buying a cheap meter, get yourself some not even expensive probes. These weren't much money, and these are really nice silicone wires, gold plated tips. They seem pretty legit for the money. That's my top tip of the day. So let's have a look at diode mode. Right, so we press select again and again to go to diode mode. Forward voltage 0.563 volts, pretty much what I'd expect. Fine. Will it light an LED? Yeah, it does, and it gives me the forward voltage of the LED as well. Look. Okay, that's all right. Now let's have a look what it's putting out. I want to see what this is putting out in diode mode, and it is 2.25 volts. Okay, fair enough. That's about what you'd expect from a cheap meter. It's just enough to light an LED. All right, so let's go for some DC volts, see how it goes. It's not bad actually to use this one. The screen's quite good for a small screen. It's quite clear. Let's go 1 volt. Pretty quick and bang on. 2, yep. 3, 4, it's really quick. 5, change range. 6, 7, this is very good. 8, 9, 10 volts. Oh wow, you can't be mad at that, can you, for £10? If you shop wisely, some of the cheap ones are actually pretty darn good. 100 millivolts, bang on. 10 millivolts, okay. 1 millivolt, yes, okay. It's actually very good. Let's go to AC volts. So select, takes us to AC. Let's start at 1 volt. Yep, okay, not bad. And 10, good. 100. Yep, and you get a red warning. That's nice, like that, to tell you that it's high voltage. Fantastic. And 300. Yep, fine. Lovely, very good. And of course current on here is done with the clamp. So we're putting out 0.1 amps. See if we can pick that up. Yeah, there we go, not a problem. Switch it up. 1 amp. Yeah, fine, absolutely fine. Okay, good stuff. Let's have a quick try then with some resistance. So let's go 1 ohm. Yeah, pretty quick. All right, 5. Lovely. And 10. Yeah, I'm not expecting ultimate accuracy from this, but it's not bad, is it? 50. Yeah, it's quite quick, isn't it? 100. Not a problem. Let's go 500. Yep, and 1k. And no problems. 10k. 50k. 100k. Yep, lovely. 500k. Yep. 1 meg. Yep, pretty quick. It's just pretty quick on everything, isn't it? Let's go 5. Yeah, and 10. Yeah, no worries. Great on resistance, no problem. So far so good with this meter. How does it do on capacitance? Will it pick up the 160 picofarad residual of this box? Not quite, no, 103. Okay, fair enough. Well, it can't be good at everything, can it? Let's do 1 nanofarad. Yeah, okay. 5. Yeah, and 10. Yeah, not a problem. 50. Little under. 100. Bang on. Nice. 500 nanofarads. Well, it's within spec. 1 microfarad. Yeah, reasonable. Okay. I would say if you've got a clamp meter, you're probably not going to be looking for ultimate accuracy on capacitance, are you? So I think it's horses for courses. So will it do the 10,000 microfarad test? Right, will it do 10,000? It should do. Most meters do these days. Yeah, it's thinking about it. Yeah. All right. 9.3 millifarads. I would say for a tenner, that's got to be a winner, hasn't it? That's Snakol clamp meter. This is the SK-201. The other model I've got coming is the SK-203, which does DC current on the clamp, which could be very useful. When that arrives, I will update you on the DC current function because the rest of it's going to be identical to this. I would suggest that for a tenner, really very useful clamp meter, and a couple of quid on some nice probes to go with it. I think you got yourself quite a usable little measuring device there. Well, I reckon that was a pretty good haul from this episode of Temu Tech Time. We got a couple of multimeters here. The Snakol, I think, really good. Highly recommend that for a tenner if you're looking for a clamp meter, maybe just an extra one to keep around the place. I thought that was pretty darn good. And the little Aneng, well, it's maybe a bit too cheapy, but it did do the job. Suffers the same problems a lot of these really cheap auto function multimeters do, that it either doesn't quite switch over at the right time, or as we saw with the voltage measurements, you couldn't measure a very low voltage on it. Not a complete fail there. We got some really useful stuff, didn't we? Fiberglass pencil, couple of nice brushes there. We got this programmable resistor, which may or may not come in useful, but certainly is a bit of fun messing around with it. And we got some really good probes. So we got this multi-set here of screw on and off probes and attachments, which may or may not be useful. I might keep an eye out for something that's a little better quality, possibly. These probes were good. I quite like these. I quite like the idea that you can just plug them into your banana plug and off you go, and you've got the changeable tips with them. And these Aneng ones, these were really good value, and I would highly recommend, if you're going to get a cheap end multimeter, get some slightly better probes for not much money. These really improve the experience of using a cheap multimeter. So I think we got some absolute winners there. Well, there you go, some quite useful stuff there actually. A couple of interesting multimeters there. I will update you on the clamp meter once I get the correct one. Completely my fault for ordering the wrong one. I should look a bit closer at the listings. But never mind, that's just me, isn't it? Got some other useful bits here. The brushes are quite cool, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually lose any bristles or not over time. I'll keep you updated on that. And the Fiberglass pencil as to how well that lasts. Some good multimeter probes there. I do like the ones with the gold tips. I just find them that little bit better. Now the Aneng ones, annoyingly, when I started the video they were in stock, but now they're out of stock when I went to get the screen grab to put in the video. So these do come and go, so do keep an eye out for them. They have others on there that don't have the silicon wires, but they do have the gold plated tips. But I do reckon if you're going to buy a cheap multimeter, if you're on a budget, a couple of quid on some slightly better probes is a really good idea. And the little programmable resistor thing, I think it's quite cool. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it, really? But yeah, it could have some uses. So some actually quite useful stuff today. You never know what you're going to get on a Temu Tech episode, especially as I can never remember what I've actually ordered. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Temu Tech Time, and as always, massive thanks to everyone for watching, sharing, liking and subscribing, and big thanks to all my YouTube and Patreon members. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon and buy me a coffee. It really does help to support the channel and keeps me making more videos. I'll be back soon with another tech related video, but in the meantime, take care and I'll see you on the next one.